Alright then, have you ever wondered what it would be like to have out in your garage your very own full-on, liter-powered superbike, stuffed to the brim with track-eating technology, only perhaps with a more comfortable long-range saddle, raised bar, real-world riding position? Well, wonder no more. Please allow me to introduce you to the big brother of Yamaha's super popular FZ-07 and FZ-09, the Big Daddy FZ-10. Now, unlike its brothers, the 10 has inherited some serious racing heritage from its close cousin, the track spec R1. How serious? Well, for starters, the chassis is derived straight from the R1, as is the cross-plane crankshaft inline 4. Of course, with the power plant, various tweaks and engineering wands have been waved to deliver more streetable torque down low, and a little less pony power at the top end of the rev range. Having covered that, you also get a trick slipper clutch, a titanium muffler, aluminum swing arm, while over on the tech side, be sure to check the box next to the chip-controlled throttle, replete with cruise control. Oh yeah, and then there's the trick electronic steering damper that adjusts with your speed, an ABS that takes up the tire slippage under hard braking. So how does this all work out in the real world of speed limits and radar guns? Well, let's ask this week's test rider, a hooligan from way back, Eric Heidendahl.
So Eric, FZ-10, FZ fun?
You betcha. This is an awesome motorcycle.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier this morning when we first rolled it out of the trailer and thought, man, it's just one big honkin' motor. This is all motor.
It is. Oddly enough, last summer I had the opportunity to spend some time on an R1. Mm-hmm. So I was pretty familiar with what an R1 would offer, and you would think a motor that was derived from the R1 would have that same kind of exhilarating performance. And this doesn't disappoint, but what's really nice about it is it all comes in the lower RPM.
Right. So what did you think when you first saw it this morning?
Yeah, my first impression was like contained explosion. I think
that's great.
That was the best way I could describe it.
Yeah.
I think I also heard it described as controlled aggression.
Yeah.
I didn't like the plastic around the tank, but otherwise the color scheme and everything I thought was pretty good.
Yeah. So let's talk about the riding experience. You slip it into first, drop the clutch. What's it like to ride? What's the sound like, the feel?
Oh, for starters, the exhaust note on this is just a beautiful exhaust note. They've really done their homework on that. There's power in all 6 gears. I think the 6th gear is really just for highway cruising. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even use it in the county, but there's just gobs of power no matter which gear you're in, and you really just have to hang on for dear life if you crack it wide open.
Yeah. Brakes.
Oh, well.
Yamaha's version of a monoblock.
Yeah, they're using some Brembo parts too, as it turns out, but the brakes are amazing as well. I would say the front brake is a little bit grabby. That was my experience, but then it's new and perhaps it's going to wear in.
Right.
But the combination of a single disc and 2 320s in the front, it stops in a hurry.
Yeah. Suspension, I mean, we weren't doing a lot of tight cornering, but it was certainly a lot of potholes.
Yeah. Well, so the suspension is firm. It is not very compliant over potholes, I would say that. But that goes along with the handling, which is impeccable. It is precise and yet neutral. It's just a beautiful handling motorcycle. I don't think I've been on a better one, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Riding position?
Yeah, so the riding position, you're up over the handlebars pretty well, and so you're right out in the open, so to speak, and I thought, well, that might be a problem with air trying to rip me off the motorcycle. But it didn't turn out that way. This little tiny fairing in the front, they've done their homework, and it spills just enough air over your helmet that it's very comfortable on the highway as well.
Right.
I was surprised.
It's definitely an aggressive motorcycle, an aggressive in many ways. Who would you recommend it to?
I think someone perhaps in their late 40s, early 50s that was well experienced at motorcycling, and they wanted the ultimate street fighter.
Right.
I mean, really, you'd have to call this a hyper bike, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Was there anything that disappointed you?
You know, there's a number of little things that I could pick on, but the kickstand was a bit hard to find with your boot. So that's kind of annoying when you're trying to get the kickstand down. Also, we now have so much going on in this left switch pod.
Yeah.
I mean, we got traction control, we got the display select, we got cruise, we got horn, we got turn signals, we got headlights. And so at night, you can't really see these buttons, and I would say to Yamaha that they should light them and color code them.
Right.
So you could find them easier. So, but those are just really niggling little things, and the motorcycle is technically just so superior in performance and handling that I love it.
So what's the one lasting impression? What's the one thing that's going to stick with this motorcycle?
I think the lasting impression for me is looking at the foot pegs, and they have a little extension with a ball on it, and I suspect that is to tell you when you're about to grind the pegs.
Right.
And this motorcycle inspires confidence. The way it handles, you can easily get it over and find that little peg.
Nice job, Eric.
Thanks, David.
Thanks for coming out today.
Perfect.
Great.